we're here to just take y'all money. We're not here to help y'all with anything. So like if y'all want a middleman, this is not the platform for you. So don't just go thinking, oh, let me just send her a lowball offer because she wants to get rid of it. Absolutely not. You know, what can you do when you're in this type of business? This is the stuff that happens. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel via Glow. If you're new here, my name is Gloria and I'm a full-time reseller on multiple different apps, and I resell clothes and shit. So in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys a recap of my month of September. I will be showing you guys my top 20 sales for the month, as well as my gross and net profit, and then of course some other little fun details as well. So let's just jump right in. So of course, I actually like to start from like the highest item to like, I guess the lowest item where I hit 20 to cap it off. So the first thing is actually this Loro Piano men's 100% cashmere sweater. I literally sourced this like 2 days ago and it sold the exact same day. I had noticed all the attention that it got on every platform. And of course I did my due diligence at checking comps and all the things. I had noticed the items that were sold were around this range because it had over 300 items listed and only 14 had sold, which was around this range, which was because we definitely underpriced it. However, $150 is nothing to like, you know, snout your nose up at. So I was happy with that. And the fact that it was a very fast flip, I absolutely love. The next one is this Sherry Hill maxi dress. I actually learned this brand from a girl named Maddie. I watch her YouTube channel. She hasn't been posting because she's going back to be a school teacher. So if you're watching, girl, hey. But she had talked about this brand, and I took like a mental picture so I can remember it when I would find it at the bins. And I found it. I was so excited. I'm like, yes. So of course I try to price mine accordingly. If you guys don't know, I am a volume seller, so I do sell a lot of little things, and with me being a volume seller, I would prefer a, what does they call it, like a fast nickel over a slow dime, because the clothes is coming in abundance. So there's no reason for me to hold on to something for an extra $15-20. If the piece warrants it, then yes. So don't just go thinking, oh, let me just send her a lowball offer because she wants to get rid of it. Absolutely not. Now, if it's something that's been sitting for a long time, absolutely yes. But if it's something that I just listed and it's like super popular, absolutely not. Anyways, so yeah, this one sold fairly quickly. I want to say within maybe like a month this one sold. So this was a really good flip. So these are actually a pair of mother denim jeans. I actually sourced these at a buy sell trade store. What's so funny is that when I talked about picking these up, I talked to you guys about when I picked up this exact same pair that was a size 30 at another buy sell trade store like a month prior, and it flipped for $50. This one flipped for $55. So I personally don't wear skinny jeans anymore, and I don't like skinny jeans. But when I say I don't pick up skinny jeans anymore, I pick up Mother. I pick up like those really good brands that warrant a pickup. And Mother is definitely, you know, one. But also the caveat here is that it is a larger size. So this one was a size 31. The last one was a size 30. But anything smaller than that, I would definitely have to look into, because when I checked the one when it had a 30, the sell-through rate was over 100%. So it was just kind of like you gotta really pinpoint the item if you are gonna pick up something that is not really in style anymore. These are a pair of velour Free People pants. Now, when I saw them in the bins, I was like, oh, these are beautiful. I'm definitely gonna get about $30 for these. I did a little research and I noticed that they were still listed on like these sites that they sell Free People on. And I was just like, oh, okay, this one's gonna go for a little bit more than I thought. So I did price it high, and I received an offer of $55 immediately. I wanna say before I could even cross list. Of course I accepted it because I think they just took like $20 off, and I'm like, that's totally fine, because in my mind I already have what I want to sell the item for. Every single item that is in my closet, I have a number in my head of what my minimum is, and I don't deviate from it unless it's been sitting for a long time. That's the only time I will go lower than that item, or if I know that this is probably the best this item is going to sell for, you know. The next one is also a piece that I picked up at a buy sell trade store when I picked up those mother jeans. These are the Driftwood jeans. I went back and forth with picking these up because I saw like 3 other pair in their store that was from Driftwood, and For some reason, when I like checked really quick comps on this one, I had noticed that it was selling really well, and it's the Farrah style. So I went on and picked them up because I think these were sold on Free People's website. So picked them up, and of course I put some decent keywords in them like flare and 70s, and this one sold for my full asking price of $55. This was a new to me brand, but the tag looked like it was worth looking into. Of course I found this at the bins, and the brand is called Black Halo. It was a jumpsuit. This one also sold fairly quickly. I mean, we're talking a few days, if that. And it was a smaller size too, so that's something to note. But yeah, definitely a great bolo brand. If you see it, pick it up. All right, so this one was a style-based pickup when I first saw it. It was a denim dress. It was vintage. It was made in USA. It had all the bells and whistles, and even the cut of it was really nice because the back of it was like a lace-up detail, which is really, really dope. So I priced this one high. Not what I typically price like vintage at, but I felt that this one was gonna do well, and it actually performed great. This one sold for my full asking price, and yeah, we love it. Like I said, it was a style-based pickup, so I used a lot of keywords: coastal, cowgirl, western, and rodeo, and of course vintage 90s. This is another pair of Free People pants. I sourced this at the bins as well. These sold fairly quickly because they were still listed on Free People's website. And why did I say Free People's? It's Free People, excuse me. But it was listed on their website still. So I priced it a little bit higher, and it still sold for a decent amount. And yeah, anytime you can get Free People out the door for $50, you're doing something. This was a really good brand. It's called 𝕃𝕀ℕ𝕂𝕊. What I've realized is that you will sit on it unless you price it really low. This brand is pretty popular. I think I've had this one for some time, like 4 to 5 months. Then I recently found another one maybe like 2 months ago. And of course I price it high. This is what I was telling y'all earlier. There is some things that you can just sit on. You don't have to sell it for a lot lower than you would like. I'm going off of comps when I price my items. I'm not going off of what I want to make for it. I go off of what the item is going to sell for, and then I'll lock in the price that I'm going to make on it. And this one was $50. So I think I had it priced at like 65 or 68, somewhere around there. And $50 is like my bare bottom. The other piece that I have, I'm also trying to get $50 for that one as well. This one is that Anthropology quilted like jacket thing. Also sourced this at the bins. Absolutely love this piece. I thought it was so stinking cute, and I love that Anthropology doesn't like ding us for using their stock photos because they just look so good. But this one sold for my full asking price of $49. Pretty good flip there. This is JCrew. It's just a men's like heavy knit cardigan. This one's like 7 years old. So for me to be able to sell an item that is 7 years old for almost $50, it's a win. But it's really because it's JCrew and it's a men's cardigan, and then the colorway is a, you know, a really good neutral. So just be mindful of that when y'all out there sourcing. If you come across JCrew like heavyweight cotton cardigans, especially if they're men's, pick it up. This is MMLL. This is a really weird dress. I've actually had this for a while. I had this since I lived in the house. So this has been here for like what, 7-8 months now, and it finally sold. I could not find a stock photo, and trust me y'all, I looked very hard, couldn't find one. So it just looks like a very awkward shirt dress, but I priced it up just because it was a little bit more substantial in the fact that it was a dress and not just like something basic. But yeah, I was pretty happy with that. This is a Chicos leather jacket. Y'all saw this before, but this one was really interesting. Even though it is an older tag Chicos, I knew that this one was going to perform well. I thought I was going to get maybe about $30 for it, but I still priced it high because I did list this a long time ago. I want to say probably like earlier this year. My pricing strategy was not good at all. I just kind of went off of what I wanted to make on it versus what it was gonna sell for. So that's probably why I sat so long. But I do remember a person trying to get it for $20, and I'm like, no. Anyways, this one is a style-based pickup. This one also sold the exact same day I listed it, so I was really happy about that. And I just used a whole bunch of keywords that I know, and this one was titled Y2K Vintage Women's Sparkle Maxi Dress Small, Purple Whimsy Goth Dark Romantic USA Cow Neck Gold. So yeah, full asking price of $45. We love that. This is a Suzanne ribbed, you know, bodysuit. So I was super excited when I found this. This is why it does pay to like comb through bins versus just like, you know, throwing stuff off to the side, because I'll be honest, I would have never even looked at this because it was a black bodysuit. Who's looking for a black bodysuit, honestly? Now if it had a whole bunch of like floral embroidery design to it, then of course, but nobody's really looking for that. But anyway, so I was so happy when I saw the tag, and then when I got home and I noticed that it was made out of merino wool, I'm like, oh, even better. So this person, I think I had this priced at $58, because I knew in my mind $45 was the lowest I was willing to go on this piece. But $58 was still a good price point because people are selling it between, you know, $40 to $80. But anyways, they sent me a $30 offer. Old Gloria would have jumped on it because I'm like, oh, that's a fast flip, let's just get it and get it out. However, like I told y'all before, some pieces are worth the wait, especially because this one got so much attention as soon as I listed it. And I was nervous only because it was an extra small. So with it getting immediate attention, we are going into the season. Merino wool is in it. It's Suzanne. Like, it had too many factors for me to sell this for $30. So I ended up countering to $45. She countered to $35. I countered to $45, and she got the gist. She was like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing here. So then she just accepted my $45 offer because she recognized, like, okay, obviously she doesn't want to play, so I'm just gonna go ahead and accept her offer. And that's what we do. I don't know about y'all, I'm not really in the game of playing, you know, tug and pull. Like, I do get it, like these sites are supposed to be a thing where you negotiate, but at the same time, if I'm saying, hey, this is the price, I'm firm on it, this is $20 below what my asking price was, so you either take it or leave it. And if they really want the item, they're gonna take it because they know they still got a good deal. That item might have been like $150 brand new. You're paying a third of the price. So yeah, anyways, this is a Tommy Bahama dress. This one actually sold the exact same day I listed it. It sold quickly, and it made me think like maybe I priced it too low, but then I'm like, no, I didn't. I priced it at a really good window because I do research on every single piece that I list. I make sure I'm always in the window, and I make sure that I price it at a price point somebody is like, oh, I gotta snatch this up. But this one had all the factors to it, so that was the main reason why it got priced over $40 and not at about $29. This one is a leather jacket. This is from a brand called Live a Little. Yeah, I picked this up, I want to say earlier this year, so it had to have been like February or January, and I listed it pretty late. And that's what happens when you list items out of season. You gotta wait for them to be in season to sell. And this one, of course, been relisted many of times, and they sent me a $40 offer, and I'm like, of course. This one was also genuine leather. For some reason, I do find a lot of like genuine leather suede jackets at the bins, and of course I always go back and forth, and I feel like at this time I was picking up a lot of colored ones versus like the normal black, you know, the normal brown. Anyways, this one was a Skims bodysuit. Now Skims, you would think, I know I would have thought that it was kind of gonna be ushering out the door as far as like not being as popular, but Skims been out for what, 4 years now, and it just seems like it might have been out longer. I just remember buying lounge clothes in 2020, so it could be out longer. Anyways, but people are still paying like a high price for it. And I didn't price this one high because I was happy with $40. I got this from the bin, so it was just like, girl, who cares? So yeah, this is a pretty good flip. This was a Ben's flip. These are some Abercrombie and Fitch pants. They did have like the size split. For some reason, I feel like this brand is the new American Eagle, but I don't think it's like I feel like it's reached its peak already, so now we are on the slow decline, because I feel like before people was getting about $50 to $60 for it. Now you're getting about $30 to $40 for it, and then once it hits that $20 and under, you know that the brand is done for. And I feel like that's what it is with American Eagle, especially if it's like, you know, those older sizes, distressed jeggings. Like, people aren't really interested in that. Some people are, but not everybody. All right, and then the last thing is actually these Madewell jeans. I remember talking to you guys about these, where I saw 2 pairs of them and I picked them both up because they were like newer styles. This one, once I got home and I did the research, that's why it's so important to do research on your items. But I got home and I did the research on it, and I noticed that this was selling for a lot more than I had planned on pricing it at, because this was going to be a smooth price it at $28, hope to get about $20 for it. But I saw comps that they were selling between $40 to $60, so I think I priced mine at $65. I received a $40 offer. I thought that was more than enough because it was from the bins, so I accepted it. Okay, so now for the numbers part. I made a gross profit of $5,940.50, and then I made a net profit of $4,612.20. Not too happy about that, just because, you know, once you kind of reach a point in your business and you kind of like plateau at that amount, you just start to expect that. So making, you know, $6,500 and then netting about you know, $5,000 a month is great. So I'm mentally feeling like, okay, I'm missing out on $400. Like, where is my $400? But it is what it is, and that's fine. Like I said, I didn't list 3 days out of the month, and I really just, I think that that's the only thing I can, you know, dub it up to. But then again, I did see some people on Instagram, I think it was like 2 weekends ago, where multiple people was complaining about slow sales. Like, they were nervous, and I was one of those people too, because I'm just like, man, like, I ain't never had this rough of a weekend. Like, I typically make $800 to $1,000, maybe not $1,000, that's on a really good weekend, maybe between like $800 to $900 in gross profit for the weekend. I didn't even touch that. I think I made $300 to $400 for that weekend, which was scary, because it's like, what's going on? And yeah, so I was nervous. I think it had got so bad that I made a sale on my eBay store for 20% off, which I know that doesn't look like a lot, but I already priced my items really low on eBay. So 20% is 5% more than I typically would send out in offers. So I cap all of my offers at 15%. I don't go anything above 15, and my prices are also locked. So I made a 20% off sale, and I don't think I got many sales from it. So I think on average every weekend I make about 10 sales on eBay, about 15 on Poshmark, and then like 3, I want to say 3 on Mercari, and then maybe 1 or 2 on Depop every weekend. So I do average about 30 sales each weekend. I didn't get close to that. So I was scared, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, because when I looked at my numbers, how I do my numbers, since I do them every Monday morning, I go off of like 1 week, week 2, week 3, week 4. So when I looked at them, the first week of September was great. Like, it was a normal week. We love that. Then the next week, I'm like, $900. What? And then the next week, $900. What? So then I'm like, okay, this is kind of scary. So then this week was actually really good. So, you know, you know, what can you do when you are in this type of business? This is the stuff that happens. So I had a total of 216 sales. 3 were bundles, and it had 8 items in each. Not in each, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. 8 items in the bundles. So I did have 2 returns. One was actually from this guy that lives maybe like a city over from me. He received the item, and he initially, I think he automatically did like the INAD. So for me, when it comes to like INADs and stuff, like I told y'all before, I kind of have this thing built in on my eBay store where it's $2 that they charge for shipping and handling. So in these cases, when people do put in for INADs and I have to pay for return shipping, I'm not really out of anything, because that money that I made just from shipping and handling, it's gonna pay for that for me in my mind. So I'm not technically losing anything. And anyway, so I didn't really care. I'm like, okay, just ship it back. So me and him went back and forth. Now I will pop some of them on the screen if I still have them, which I probably should. So we went back and forth, and at that point I realized it wasn't going anywhere. So I blocked him, and he went on to leave me, of course, a negative review, which really ticked me off. So I, of course, responded, and I reached out to try to do like the revision of the thing. And I've never did a revision on eBay for like feedback, but I didn't know that when you ask for your feedback to be revised, it's gonna go straight to the buyer, not to eBay. And that's what I absolutely hate about eBay. eBay is like, hey, we're here to just take y'all money. We're not here to help y'all with anything. So like, if y'all want a middleman, this is not the platform for you. eBay is so like the mom sitting off to the side on her phone, not watching her kids while her kid is terrorizing the whole park. That, I feel like, is what eBay is. Poshmark is the mom that's sitting there literally watching her kid and watching your kid terrorize people and making sure that they don't terrorize their baby. Me. That's why I love Poshmark. But anyways, so once I found that out, I'm like, okay, well, that was stupid, because my whole thing that I sent them was essentially what I said to the buyer already. So clearly he's not gonna revise it. So I was pissed, but I'm like, it is what it is. Just ship my item back. So he waits almost for the full 30 days, which it didn't really bother me any, because I don't care. It was a $22 sale. Like, who gives a shit? So he waits almost the whole month to ship it back, finally ships it back, and you know, I refund him, and that was that. So that was pretty annoying. And then I think the other one was some pajamas that I remember showing y'all in a shipping shop. The brand is called Marigo, I want to say. So those pajamas did have a flaw to them, and of course I stated it in the listing, but she said that it was more wear on the drawstring, which for some reason I don't like when people just automatically are rude. Like, I get it, seller made a mistake, but to just be so aggressively rude is ridiculous. So she was so angry, and I just approved the return. I didn't even respond, because I felt like maybe 2 or 3 days had passed since me and the other guy had got into it. And mind you, both of these are on eBay. So she puts in her INAD, I automatically like approve the return. The only time I don't like approve the return and I just refund them is if they reach out to me before we get to the INAD stage and I want to rectify the situation, because they are being cooperative and anything like that. Like, I feel like it can go 2 different ways, because if you really think about it, I can just refund them their money and I don't have to pay for return shipping, you know. Even though, like I just told y'all, I technically don't pay for it because I have it built in each sale. But anyways, so that ends up happening, and I'm just kind of like, okay, just ship it back, because you could have reached out to me, but that's fine. Shipped it back. And I looked over it because she said it was more wear on the waistband, and I'm like, okay, she was totally right, it is more wear on it. So I just photographed it and then I relisted it, because who the hell is looking at a drawstring where your top is going to be covering it? Nobody. But I did drop the price too, because with that type of flaw. So yeah, that was that. And then as far as my newly listed items, I did have 364 newly listed items. Y'all know that I shoot for 400 newly listed items each month. I did not meet that. And I'm sure that is why it was affected. I actually do plan on bumping up my listings pretty soon. It's not going to be by a lot, but it's going to be by a little bit, because I really want to get over $7,000 a month. That is my goal, is to get over $7,000 a month. So we are about to be getting to it, okay? But anyways, I did make like some bullet points on each platform So on eBay, my sales are down by 12%. I still don't know what was the reason behind it, but actually I kind of do. I think when you get INADs, eBay kind of like slap your wrist and then put you off to the side, and they don't show you as much. And I think that is the case. And then of course I got that negative feedback. And I do think I also canceled an order on eBay, unfortunately, because I had delisted it up, supposedly delisted it, because I remember getting rid of it. I redonated it, which I still don't know how it was still listed, because I really combed through everything, but clearly not good enough. So yeah, I think those factors really affected my eBay store. I want to say like the middle of September, I was down by like 30%. So it really was the end, like the last week of September, that helped make it to 12%, because it was definitely going to be a lot lower. Mercari dipped. As far as Poshmark was the same. It wasn't like exceptionally well, and it wasn't bad. Poshmark was just doing what she had to do. She's just like, I'm here to dance. Like, if you get the reference, we here. But Poshmark was just like, I'm just gonna do my job and go. I'm not doing too much. I'm not doing, you know, a little bit. I'm gonna do just enough, and it was good. So no complaints on Poshmark.